Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the confirmation of the Plaid Model 3, Cybertruck updates, another Tesla price increase, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Tesla has added a new raffle to their rewards program for a new long-range Model Y. 1,000 credits enters you into the raffle, and winners will be drawn in January of next year. Multiple entries are allowed, and the winner will have to pay taxes and fees. When someone buys a Tesla with your referral link, you get 10,000 points, so that sounds pretty good, but it is worth comparing to other accessories to get a cost comparison. Tesla's CCS Adapter is 4,000 points in this program, or $175 cash, so each entry here costs around $43.75. This is definitely a way for Tesla to help thin credits from people that have been racking them up, but it'll definitely pay off for whoever wins this. Previously, we haven't really seen who actually won these raffles, but Adam Bustamante won a Performance Model 3 in another raffle this month and received this email, basically letting him know he had won. Right now, there's also a Cybertruck raffle going on, and what makes that one particularly exciting is that it's a low-VIN Cybertruck. So whoever wins that sweepstakes should win one when it's very difficult to get. Next up today, Tesla is rolling out another over-the-air software update to fix a recall involving the low brake fluid warning in some Model X's. Almost 55,000 Model X's have received the update because the vehicle controller may malfunction, at which point the car would fail to warn the driver of low brake fluid. It's only affecting Model X's built between 2021 and 2023, and as I mentioned, Tesla has already resolved the issue in a software update. NHTSA says the controller failure, quote, may impact braking performance and may increase the risk of a collision, so make sure if you drive a Model X that you check to make sure you're on the latest update, version 2023.32.7 or later. Luckily, Tesla isn't currently aware of any accidents or injuries as a result of this malfunction. They identified the issue in September and have been working with their brakes integration team to fix the set threshold range to give more accurate warnings. This is another example of a situation where the word recall doesn't accurately describe. This is a small bug and they were able to rectify it in a couple weeks with a software update that was rolled out automatically. Historically, recalls have only been physical recalls involving taking your car to the shop to get it fixed, so with the rise of software-powered vehicles, we need a new word here. Tesla not only has had fewer recalls than other automakers, but handles a much higher percentage of them with over-the-air software updates. Letters from NHTSA regarding the brake fluid controller recall will be mailed out by December 12th, but most of those vehicles will have the update by then, and owners may not even have noticed there was an issue. If you'd like to check though, the recall number is SB2300005. Speaking of the Model X, Tesla just increased the price of the Model X Plaid by $5,000. Previously, it was the same price as the Model S Plaid at $89,990, and now it is separated by $5,000 up to $94,990. Personally, I think this makes sense since the Model X offers a lot of bells and whistles that the Model S doesn't, and pricing them the same sometimes seemed a bit odd. That's a steep increase to drop overnight though, and it's another example of how much Tesla can change their pricing at the drop of a hat. Next up today, one of the biggest questions amongst Tesla fans for a while has been, what about a Plaid Model 3? Tesla's Plaid Model S is their flagship vehicle and remains one of the quickest accelerating cars available. It's definitely quickest anywhere close to its price range, but still comes in at $90,000. Many would love similar performance in a Model 3, but Tesla has kept their same performance Model 3 for a while now. It's great with a 3.1 second 0 to 60, but with the full refresh of the Model 3 in China and soon the US, Tesla has left out a performance Model 3. Rumor was that performance was still coming, and that has led to speculation that a Plaid Model 3 might be on its way soon. Last month, a T showed up in VIN decoders to indicate a performance Model 3, and while it says dual motor, T is used to indicate Plaid for their other tri-motor vehicles. Even if Tesla still went dual motor, but Plaid, that could see around 600 to 700 horsepower on the smaller Model 3, a significant bump over its current performance. Now this looks like it may be confirmed. One of Tesla's parts catalogs has confirmed they're working on a performance version of the new Model 3 that could be labeled Plaid. This is for the Highland Model 3, of course, or Model 3 Plus, that's only available in Europe and Asia for now. They recently released the owner's manual and parts catalog for that new Model 3, and that's revealed some new details. In the catalog, we can clearly see the Plaid badge just above the dual motor one. This is the same badge on the Model S and X Plaid. In the past, Elon has said that they would not be making a Plaid version of the Model 3 or Y, because that designation is reserved for the higher-end Model S and X. So this badge in their catalog could just be a nod to their existing Plaid models, or it could even be a mistake, but I don't think Tesla would mess around with this badge. Plaid means something to them, so they aren't simply going to slap it on a regular performance Model 3 for fun. One alternative could be that this is a new Ludicrous badge as pointed out by the kilowatts. That would be the performance right below Plaid, and it's still a similar effect. That could be what we're seeing here, while true Plaid is reserved for tri-motor flagship vehicles. Either way, there's a new performance Model 3 on the way, and we'll see how much Plaid it really gets. At the same time though, this parts catalog unveiled more about the new Model 3. It looks like the new performance Model 3 will feature a different suspension, further improving on the new suspension that came with the Highland update. On top of that, there are new sport brakes and new wheels. The new wheels are a new design for Tesla and seem to be more lightweight with a minimalist pattern. Tesla is expected to begin deliveries for the new long-range all-wheel drive version of the Model 3 in Europe and Asia any day now, so if there is going to be a new trim released, it should happen pretty soon. I think if they did release a Model 3 Plaid, that could be a very enticing and popular option. I know tons of people who would buy it, and it could do a great job of cementing Tesla's lead in this space if they could make a top-performing EV at a reasonable price. At the same time, it might be so enticing that it would take away from their already low Model S sales. For that reason, we may see a Ludicrous Model 3 or a Model 3 dual-motor Plaid that still doesn't quite beat the Model S Plaid. Eventually, though, we may see a Model 3 truly beat the Model S once Tesla is ready to discontinue that car. Next up today, the latest updates for the Cybertruck. Right before Tesla's earnings call earlier this week, a few uncovered Cybertrucks were spotted at Tesla's outbound lot. Essentially, this means they're brand new out of Giga Texas, but now that the Cybertruck event has been announced for November 30th, Tesla seems less focused on covering these up. This was spotted by Joe Tegtmeyer and really just shows that production keeps going. At the earnings call itself, Elon did set clear expectations for the Cybertruck. He went as far as to say reservation holders should temper their expectations because it will be a very challenging ramp for that car. Quote, "So I just want to emphasize that one. I think this is potentially our best product ever, and I think it is our best product ever, but it is going to require immense work to reach volume production and be cash flow positive at a price that people can afford. So I just want to temper expectations for Cybertruck." Tesla's report showed an annual capacity of 125,000 Cybertrucks, but they're clearly still ramping to that. That's also low compared to the output of their other cars, which makes sense, and then they plan to be at 250,000 per year or 5,000 a week within 18 months. Shortly after Tesla's earnings call, though, we finally got some detailed information about the Cybertruck. 2024 VINs for Tesla vehicles are now showing up through NHTSA, and they give us great info about the Cybertruck and Semi through VIN decoders. In digit 4, C stands for Cybertruck and T for Tesla Semi. For the 2024 Tesla Cybertruck, it is now confirmed that there will be a dual-motor standard version and triple-motor performance version. On top of that, this fully unveils the Cybertruck's gross vehicle weight rating. This isn't the curb weight of the vehicle, but rather the maximum amount of weight that your vehicle can safely handle. There's Class G, which is greater than 3,629 kilograms to 4,082 kilograms, or 8,001 pounds to 9,000 pounds. Then Class H, which is greater than 4,082 kilograms to 4,536 kilograms, or 9,001 pounds to 10,000 pounds. As for the bulletproofness of the Cybertruck, rumor has it that this truck will have normal windows, but one was spotted in the wild with tons of bullet holes in the side door. Here's a video of it and then a freeze frame. Clearly, this has been through the ringer, and Elon confirmed it, saying, quote, "We emptied the entire drum magazine of a Tommy gun into the driver door Al Capone style. No bullets penetrated into the passenger compartment." Clearly, Tesla is still planning for this truck to be bulletproof as advertised, but it may not be to the degree we originally expected with Tesla's glass demos at the original announcement event. Either way, Tesla is ramping for first deliveries of the Cybertruck in a little over a month, which is very exciting. It will be great to see this finally hit the road and also see how it truly stacks up as an electric truck compared with competitors. First, with the supercharger alone, it will have a leg up on other electric trucks, but then it will have to hold its own in order to succeed in the years to come. Tesla has a huge backlog of orders that should take them a few years to fulfill, so it will be a long process of scaling, price decreases, and incremental improvements on such a wildly different truck. That seemed to be Elon's focus on this call, as many are expecting this car to change the world. It might do so, but it will take some time for that to happen. Next up today, even more brands have joined the NACS coalition, giving EV owners more flexibility in their charging options on the go in the future. The North American charging standard started out as Tesla's proprietary fast charging connector, but since they announced their superchargers would be opening up to other EVs, it's going to truly become a standard. For a while, it looked like Tesla's Magic Dock would be the solution here, but now it's looking like it will be redundant after 2025. Ford started a trend this summer announcing all of their new EVs would begin shipping with NACS starting in 2025, and their existing EVs would have an adapter available before then. After that, we started hearing other brands announcing that they had agreed to the same terms. Most recently, we heard Hyundai Motor Group's announcement that Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis would now be shipping with NACS. Now, BMW Group has made their own announcement, confirming not only BMW, but Mini and Rolls-Royce will be adopting NACS as well. Tesla also posted about it saying, quote, "Welcome BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce owners to superchargers across North America. Owners of existing BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce EVs will gain access to Tesla superchargers in early 2025. Then they promised that 2025 will also bring new EVs with NACS installed in the US and Canada. This is what BMW's American president had to say, quote, "With 6 fully electric BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce models now available in the US market and more to come, it is our top priority to ensure that our drivers have easy access to reliable fast charging. This agreement is the latest in our long-standing and continued effort to expand charging options for our customers as we continue on the road to electrification." It sounds pretty similar to what other companies have been saying. Basically, Tesla has the largest, fastest, and most reliable fast charging network in North America, so it's a clear benefit for every automaker to be able to access it, even if it's not their own charger. That doesn't mean that they're abandoning their efforts, though. BMW Group, as well as 6 other automakers, are on a mission to install over 30,000 fast chargers across North America that are powered with renewable energy. Working with BMW and GM, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, Mercedes-Benz Group, and Stellantis NV. It sounds like those new chargers will support all EVs as well, and likely will be using NACS. To pay for charging, it seems like customers will be able to use their respective apps both at a Tesla supercharger and at these new ones from another company. That way, your data is only being handled by the company you bought the car from. Toyota, one of the biggest household names out there, also announced this week that they and Lexus will be switching to Tesla's NACS connector. It looks like they're doing the same deal as well, and there's only a few companies left. Stellantis is one of the main ones that has not officially announced that they are switching to NACS, but soon enough, we should hear from them. On top of automakers agreeing to ship vehicles with NACS, EV fast charging companies have also agreed to make the switch. ChargePoint has started ramping production of their chargers that are compatible with the NACS inlet. This is great news since opening up superchargers to a lot more EVs means more traffic. Now, ChargePoint stations equipped with NACS can alleviate some of that congestion. Also, most cars in 2025 will have this port, so it makes a lot of sense from a standardization perspective. They said that these chargers will be rolling out, quote, over the coming month, and their cable conversion kits for existing ChargePoint DC fast chargers will be delivered to customers as soon as November. This is the first time that Tesla will have a public fast charging option outside of the supercharger network directly and across the board. These chargers have 2 separate cables for both NACS and CCS charging. The shift to NACS in big ways like this is great to see because that cable is very reliable and much smaller than other options. It also allows many cars to use Tesla's existing superchargers. Next up today, EVs are more affordable than ever according to a new report from Kelley Blue Book. Their report contains average pricing transaction data for new vehicles, and the average price paid for an EV in September was $50,683. Just 1 year ago, that average was over $65,000. That's also about $2,000 less than it was in August. They note that a huge factor in these falling prices is Tesla's continued price cuts, which affect the entire industry. If Tesla drops prices, other EV makers have to follow suit in order to stay competitive. Both the Model 3 and Y are now more affordable than they ever have been, and these cars are dominating the EV market. EV availability is measured in how many days worth of supply there are, and these numbers have been well above the industry average this year. That's because EV production is rapidly increasing, especially on Tesla's part. Inventory started at about 52 days worth of cars in January, then peaked in July with about 111 days worth. Now we're at around 97 days worth, which still almost doubles that of gasoline vehicles. Another factor here is that other automakers are releasing new EVs en masse. This year alone, we've seen about 15 brand new EV models enter the market. Of course, the availability of EVs doesn't just mean that they're piling up as these companies are producing them. EV sales are also higher than ever. These new models cost much less, than a lot of them qualify for a significant tax credit on top of that. For those in the market for a new car, it's getting harder to justify sticking with gas. For that reason, EV sales in Q3 this year saw a yearly 50% increase year over year. In France, EV market share just hit a new record. In September, 20% of auto sales in the country were EVs. If we include PHEVs, that goes up to 30%. Year to date, the total passenger car registrations in France increased by 16% from last year to almost 1.3 million vehicles. The total auto market has been expanding every month this year, but it is also becoming more electric. This is great to see and is indicative of a worldwide trend towards EVs. As Tesla becomes more popular, other EVs are also becoming more popular, and it looks like this market share percentage is only going to keep increasing in the future. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see what all Tesla unveiled at their earnings call, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.